Hi, this is your host, Eric Young, with Awaken to Your Greatest Life. Discover the secrets to experiencing your best life yet. I'd like to welcome you to our call with today's guest, Joseph Ghabi. Best-selling author Joseph Ghabi is a leading numerologist, healer, and spiritual leader. Joseph speaks on topics ranging from relationships and the law of attraction to life purpose and past histories. He's well known for his expertise in finding authentic peace with the past. When you hear the words mystic, spiritual teacher, or numerologist, Joseph may not fit the first picture that comes to mind. But Joseph is a former engineer, banker, and international sales manager. His past is packed with degrees and certifications given only to people of science and logic. Yet Joseph's true gift appears in an area less frequented by typical scientists. Now today you'll discover how, in his quest to create change in his own life and help those he loves, Joseph discovered an effective system that can help you. You'll discover a new concept to understand how to find your authentic peace with the past and live with purpose. While you are 100% ready right now to have a joyful life and live to your full potential, and how to release all perceptions imposed by others and discover the true you. Joseph, thank you for joining us today and welcome to the call.
Thank you for having me, Eric. I'm glad to be with you on the call. It's going to be a fun hour together.
Great, thank you. Now, Joseph, can you take 2 to 3 minutes and share what you believe to be the major turning points that allowed you to manifest your current level of success?
The turning point, what happened in my life is basically when my son was born. And when my son was born, I was waiting in the hospital. I was in the delivery room eventually. And when I started looking at the doctors, their faces were completely almost black. And I realized that the biblical cord around my son's neck was completely, and there's no sound, there's no voice, there's nothing happening. They were able to manage that cord to come out, but we haven't heard any cry. So it's like we were hoping for a cry at that point, but they found out that he had some water into his lungs. And because of that, they took him to a special room, and they took out the water, and they put him into an incubator. So 24 hours later, they took him out of the incubator. He's fine, but he kept crying. So we were praying in the day before to hear one cry. In the second day, he never stopped crying. Now, the only time he was stopped to cry is when I put him on my shoulder and walk with him. So I end up between 9 p.m. At night till 6, 7 in the morning walking the whole hospital. Wow. So that gave me a lot of walking. It's almost I got to know everybody in that hospital, but it gave me a lot of time to think. Now, everything kept coming into my mind. It's like, if I'm not able to figure out my own purpose, how on earth am I supposed to give it to that kid? And this same sentence kept hammering me into my mind, because at that point I was completely procrastinating myself. So I was doing what I'm doing, but I was procrastinating at the same time. So I took a vow at that time to myself. I said, I will do whatever it takes to get myself into exactly where my purpose is. And from that point, this is when my turning point happened, people coming into my life into the exact moment, the exact time, because I made that step and decision to take that into the next step. And what happened in one of the events that I attended, the speaker said one sentence that I completely jumped from my seat. And that sentence got kicked everything in me to say, it's time to do it. And that sentence was, are you interested or are you committed? I realized that I've been interested in my life in what I'm doing for 18 years, but I've never been committed to it. And the moment I got committed, everything started to fall into place.
Wow, that is a really inspiring story. I'm really excited about this call, Joseph. This is really, really powerful. I'm kind of blown away by that story. It's, with your son, it's amazing.
You can realize, Eric, for something that once we make a decision to make any changes in our life, we can go any distance we want. But we need to have a clear mind. And we have a reason why we're doing whatever we want to do in our life. The moment we establish that link, the sky is the limit.
Okay. Well, now, what would you say? We talked earlier about through the 3 easy steps there are to taking, to discover what that passion and purpose in your life is. That makes it so. What are those steps? Do you think?
The steps. Before I speak about the steps, I'd like to ask the listener one question that they think about it on their own time, and that question is very simple. How many of you feel you are living with your passion and with your sole purpose? And from my own experience with my own clients and everybody around me, there are very rare people that are living with that, with their passion and their purpose. And then the question we need to ask ourselves, what's in our way? What is in our way is not allowing us to go that extra distance. And this is where I need the listeners to pay attention to that, because we need to start asking ourselves the hard questions. Why things are not working? But things will never be working if we keep doing the same old stuff, and it doesn't work that way. So I'm going to start with the third step that you need to take to realize your true passion. The first one, that where most people are really stuck into it, is to find your authentic peace with the past. Put an end for what happened in your life. Get out of being victimized. Authentic peace with your past is simply to have reconciliation with the past. Move on. It's time to move on, because you're not going to go any distance further if you're stuck where you are. The universe is not allowed to give you extra on your plate, extra food, extra anything on your plate, if your plate is full. So you need to empty what's on your plate first and start taking that away from you. Many of us today are only occupied with their past, as nothing else exists in their life, to the extent they make themselves sick even. Then they have another new excuse. Oh, I'm sick now. Poor me, come look at me. And this is where we need to take that away, because having a passionate life, it doesn't work when you are being into a victimized mood. It doesn't work. It's a contradiction. So the law of attraction in motion works nicely once you start changing your way of thinking, your way of thought, the way you speak even. Now, change your mind is equal. It's the same relevance as to change your circumstance, and it change your reality. Your reality completely change. And I can guarantee you, the moment you step into the path, you're going to start seeing stuff coming in your way that you never thought it ever exists. But unfortunately, we dwell and we sit behind, oh, I'm a victim of that. I need an apology from my dad for what he did to me, or I need an apology from this person, or I need whatever from that or that person. But we keep making the excuses, and the excuses is not going to get you into your passion. It never will, it never does, and this is the reason you need to learn to start to deprogram whatever you've been programming for many years. And this is the third step, the number 3, that we need to really pay attention, that we need to take to realize your true passion. You won't see it if you're completely thinking in what happened 20 years ago. Now, the number 2, the way I look at it, we always choose safety over fulfillment. What does mean safety? Safety is a comfort zone where you feel secure in your own circumstance, even though you hate it, but you understand it's not serving your higher self. You understand, from a theory, you understand it is not suiting you, but we keep doing it because it's safety. It's comfortable. And what is fulfillment, on the other hand? Fulfillment is living to your higher good and taking a chance on yourself. So the reason we choose safety over fulfillment is because anything familiar to us is better than anything unfamiliar. But if you pick up any coin, it has 2 sides. We lived our life in the first side, but what happened to the second side? We never touch it. And this is where we need to start looking into how much we are looking for ahead of us, or we're looking for what's in our past, and we keep listening to the same old story. Like, I'll give you an example. How many times you hear a woman been abused, beaten up in a relationship for years, and after many, many, many years, she decides to leave her husband or boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? It's about safety. Even though she's not happy with that circumstance, but she's accustomed to a situation that she starts believing is her reality.
Mm-hmm.
We only have to just walk out, do something, but move. We have to do that movement. We cannot sit down and do nothing. We need to get out of that comfort zone. If we don't take that comfort zone, if we don't take that alignment with the universe to say, I'm ready to move out, I need your assistance, trust me, the universe will assist you. But they need to see you where you're walking first. You need to take your first step. The universe cannot go and take your own step because it cannot go against your free will.
Mm.
So you need to give your free will that you're starting walking to the left. Then once you start, the universe see you turning to the left, then they start putting you stuff in front of you, people that can come and assist you and take you from where you are, where you're stuck, and what happened, and everything, and take you into the way where you need to go in the first place. And this is where it is very important that we start realize why we're doing that, why we are into the same situation for years and years, and it's not suiting us in the first place. I know it from myself. I was procrastinating for 18 years. I never thought I need any help. I never thought I need any guidance, even though because with all the knowledge I know it. Deadly wrong. The moment I got into a mentoring program, completely transformed my life because I started seeing it from a different angle that I never accustomed to see it. And that's all it takes. Sometimes we need that direction. We need to be assisted by other people. It's nothing wrong with that. But what we do about it, either we keep saying to ourselves, I know that, but the word I know, the K-N-O-W, when it comes to your body, the way your body see it and hear it and feels it as N-O, that means no. Anytime you say I know that means no to your body. That means you don't want that. And this is where we need to change in the languaging that we have. So we need sometimes some guidance in order to get us up and start running and understanding who we are in the first place. It's hard for many people that they think they can do it all, but they're not doing anything about it because they keep going backward into their old story. Then they created excuses. I don't have the money. I'm busy. I have family to support. I have no time. And the list is so big. But all of these are about the excuses. And the excuses are basically simply are telling us, I don't want to commit. It's about the commitment. We are afraid to commit because we still choose our safety over our fulfillment. So this is where the number 3, which is to find your authentic peace, and number 1 is to choose safety over fulfillment. We need to get out of that comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Or expand in it a little bit.
Right.
It doesn't hurt. I mean, next to your comfort zone, there's a buffer. You can use that buffer, but at least you expand in it further. The moment you expand in it, then you're going to have some people coming around you to assist you into that extra layers that you create. And that's very important. Now, the number 1 step you need to take to realize your true passion and to fulfill your soul purpose, to me, is your identity. We have no identity. We have no idea who we are. Mm-hmm. We're completely lost in the crowd. When you were born, your parents told you who you are, but doesn't mean anything. It's according to who? According to themselves, how they saw you, how you reacted to one thing or to others. How many of us really do know about ourselves? If you ask somebody, who are you, immediately they refer to you and they tell you about what they do.
Right.
That's automatic. We all done it. I've done it before. It's automatic because we have no idea who we are until we start understanding our reality. I mean, my life went into turbulence when I used to live in the States at one point. And career-wise, all over the place, relationship, forget it. moving from place to place. I moved almost 11 cities in 3 continents. I studied 30 degrees. I have between 30 degrees diploma and certification I've done because I'm completely lost. I don't know what I want. I don't know who I was. But the moment I start focusing and start understanding about myself, then this is where things start to shape up into my life. I start understanding why I was moving from place to place, why I was having this type of experiences. I start to understand it, and you just need to analyze it. That's all it is. How many of us knows about our strengths? We all know about our weakness, and everybody talk about our weakness every day. We can communicate it very easily, but how many communicate their strengths? Not many. It is a reality. Do you agree on that? I mean, it is,
definitely.
I mean, it is. We always keep arguing. We're saying, "Oh, I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have this. I don't." Everything is in negating. Well, how would you expect to get anything positive between those crowd of negation? We all know it that anything you keep concentrating on will expand. So if you keep centering all your day to pay the bills, I guarantee you're going to have more bills coming in. Mm-hmm. So this is what you concentrate on. Now, instead of keep concentrating on your weakness, get up and start to discover what's your strengths. Because we all have something to do into this lifetime. We're not coming here just to be working in this place or that place or slaving ourselves, doing nothing.
Yeah.
What imprint you want to leave into your life? What imprint you want to leave to be told about you? What legacy you want to leave behind you? Right. You need to leave an imprint. And if we don't start doing that and start looking into what is it am I made of, your experiences that happened to you, your vocation that you studied, your learning that you learned, your work that you did, whatever thing you did, all have meaning for you. You need to understand the meaning for them and start making them, and then look into the cycle, how you're going to take them towards your purpose.
Okay.
But because we all have something to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, actually, that kind of makes me wonder, what you mentioned soul purpose. What is the difference between soul purpose and destiny? Well, it sounds like they're similar things.
It is. In a way, they are the same, but they're not the same. Okay. Now, we all have a soul. If your soul decided not to be here, I'm not here, and you're not here if your soul decides not to be here. We're not here. Because we are not a human being, we are a spiritual being. We need to accept that. We need to start to realize we're not just a human being. Now, when your soul decides to come to this plane, your soul map out the lifetime completely and been practicing on it completely, maybe for hundreds of years before it came in here, just to see the purpose, how it's going to take that lifetime. So your soul decided to come here for a specific purpose. Now, from the way I look into working with the soul connection and in my healing work, what I do with that is basically I work with soul agreements. Now, your soul decided and said, I have this purpose, I'm coming between this year to live into this lifetime. And then you volunteered, you said, I'm going to take that task. So the moment you said, I'm taking that task, you signed your agreement with your soul. Now, when you signed your agreement with your soul already revealed to you the purpose. So it was revealed, so you already have it in your DNA. You want to call it DNA, you want to call it whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. You already came in, already aware what you signed for. Do you sign anything without knowing what you're signing for?
No,
so it is not. Part of, you're not going to sign your life for nothing. You want to see what that purpose. So your soul coming for a specific purpose. And especially in our time now, because this plane needs lots of help. So there's many old souls are coming back. There's many master numbers are coming back. There's many vibrant energies are coming back to make that change. So we're all coming for a specific task. So that when you signed that agreement, your soul said, this is your purpose. Enjoy it. And so we're all coming for that specific purpose. And that's where everything starts. Now, once you were born here, that soul purpose become within yourself, that the drive to take you towards your blueprint destiny, which is towards your destiny. The destiny that your soul been planning as a purpose for itself. So the purpose is coming for the soul himself or herself from that point, and the destiny is coming on our human level. How much are we ready to apply it? How much are we ready to take the soul on to say, I'm going to be fulfilling that destiny? It's from a human level. The destiny, the soul purpose is from the soul level. But it's all, both of them is for you to see the big picture of life.
Okay. So why do people have such a hard time finding their purpose then?
Well, how can you see your purpose if you're stuck behind your old experiences? It doesn't work. I mean, if you're 24/7, you keep saying and blaming your dad or your mom for what happened in your life today, how on earth you're going to see anything in between? Your mind is occupied with something totally different. You need to clear your mind at one point, because that centering on the wrong things is not going to suit you. If you go to university, for example, let's take an example from going to university. If you go for a program of 3 or 4 years program, in order to get your diploma, you need to go to every single year and pass your exams, right? When you pass your exams, the first year, the second year, the third year, the fourth year, then they give you your diploma. This is what you're qualified to be doing. Now, if we draw it from your date of birth, we're going to draw a straight line going towards your destiny. Now, a situation happened in your life at age of 5, at age of 10, at age of 15, at age of 25, but you still haven't understood that experience. If you haven't understood that experience, that means you're still flunking. How on earth are you supposed to get into your destiny and if you still haven't understood your previous experiences? Because what you're supposed to be doing in your destiny is exactly what you're supposed to be learning from your own experiences. And if you take it from a public speaking arena and everywhere that you hear, people always refer to their own experience. And why is that? Because this is where we're going to be going is according to where we left off from our own experiences. How I understood about abuse, then I'll be able to talk about abuse. How I understood about having sensitivity into my life, then I'll be able to speak about sensitivity because I own it. I know how it feels. I know how it was. I know how I conquer it. And now I'm ready to teach it. And this is why people are not seeing their purpose. 96% of the questions I've been hammered, my purpose. And this is where it is very, very essential. And for us to start seeing where we're going, where we want to go from all of that, we need to let go of everything from the past and start looking for what's coming up in our future.
Okay. Now, it seems like the very few people are able to fully, go after that purpose and live their lives with passion. Is there a reason why so many people are, they just basically live passionless lives? Is that because they're unable to let go of those experiences?
First of all, your experiences, how you can see your passion, what you're passionate about, if you are always negating everything.
Okay.
You won't see it because it doesn't equate together, One is taking you from one end of the equation and the other one is taking you from another side. They're totally opposite to each other. So in order to live with passion means you need to stop all the interferences in your life. You need to stop hanging around negative people, for example. You need to stop allowing people to take advantage of you. You need to learn how to set your boundaries, to set your limits. Stop listening to other people, telling you what is best for you, what passion is about. It is very important to take it from those angles. And until you start figuring out all of that, then you start seeing, I'm really passionate about that. I want to take you for a small exercise, if you like. At one point, if you like, during the call, we can do a small meditation. And what I can tell you from the being passionate eventually, that at 6 years old or 4 years old, what dreams did you have at that point? And maybe somebody older than you crushed them for you. because those are where your passions are sitting. So your inner child that is sitting inside, that is wondering where are you haven't connected with that inner child for a long time, that inner child has so many of your answers. But we always look for external ways in order to bring all these knowledge to us. But nobody's going to tell you exactly who you are. Nobody's going to tell you what it is. It is time to get out from the labels. You know, oh, I am an engineer, I am a programmer, I am this, I am that. These are labels. They're not going to suit us. What's your strengths? What you're passionate about? And this is where we need to look at. Now, society from the beginning programmed us in a way to keep us small. That's a programmation that we need to get out of it, in one sense of it. So we are programmed into not believing in ourselves, that we need to have a 9-to-5 job, that we need to do this way or that way, and it's not ethical to do this, it's not ethical to do that, it's not. We have so many limitations.
Right.
And to be passionate about something, you have to be using your imagination. And we're not trained on that. We don't have a good qualifying training. It's not like it was given to us. It wasn't. And at the same time, when you were born, you didn't have an instruction manual that your parents had, and they were reading about it, what type of character you came with, what type of personality you came with. And this is where we need to start to get to know ourselves. And this is where I found the tool to start understanding all of that when I start embarking into numerology. I start to understand it differently. I start to understand my life completely. I saw everything what happened, why it happened. And it was exactly between the years supposed to happen from this year to that year. It was exactly on the same time. Now, if I don't understand the lesson between those 2 years, when it's supposed to happen, then I'm expanding myself into the following years, and this is why most people are feeling stuck, stagnating, and procrastinating. Because they're not living the truth.
What is numerology?
Numerology is basically it's a 4,000-year-old science in the sense of it, and what it takes you to start to understand the blueprint you're meant to be with. Now, your name is not a coincidence. Your date of birth is not either. What do you know about them? Now, if your government can identify you by your social insurance number, that means there's something in your numbers. That means your name has numbers value to your letters, and your date of birth has a big significance towards your blueprint destiny. So, how much do you understand about yourself? How much do you see where you're going, where you're coming from, and what strengths I have, what challenges do I have, what experiences or karma, whatever way you want to call them, do I have, what subconscious that I'm bringing from past life into my life. Now, some of the listeners might not relate with the past life or anything. It doesn't matter. We still can figure out a few things from our name without even have to go to the past life, because it's not important. We need to figure out this lifetime. And this is where we're missing. We keep looking for something from the outside to fulfill us, where all our answers are sitting inside, that we need to start bringing it all to the surface. And stop playing with your name, because every time you play with your name, you're going to change your experience. And changing your experience, and if people who have, like I have some clients, sometimes they tell me, oh, I have 3-4 names, which name do you want? My only question, I ask them, how confused are you? He said, oh my God, like hell. Well, because you have 3-4 names.
It works like that?
It works like that. I mean, it's so simple, because every name has a lot of different sequences that has to follow from that name. So if you're going in the morning, going to work, everybody knows you at work as Bob, and everybody go into that vibration. You come at home, everybody call you Robert at home. That's totally different vibration. But one day you came from work and you forget to leave your clothes at work. You came at work and you start talking to your wife or husband, and you start talking from a Bob vibration, and that person didn't understand what the hell you're talking about. And this is where the fight starts. Because we don't have any more vibration happening together. I do that when I do marriage counseling. Many times it's to align the vibration together. What have we missed? Did one of the partners change their name? Because it is very important. Why people a lot confused in Hollywood? Why is that? Because they have so many names. And even when they embedded a character and they really go into that character during the shooting of a movie, and most breakups, if you realize it, most breakup happen during a movie. Because they embedded that character too much into themselves and they go home with it. But their partner's not going to understand what they're talking about. They're not accustomed to that, to see it through them. And this is where it is very important. We need to start understanding ourselves, knowing what vibration we're vibrating, and start communicating it into the other person in a proper way. The moment you start understanding other person, you start understanding yourself, and everything starts to harmonize between each other.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you teach your system of or your style of numerology?
Yes, I do teach it because my style has a lot to do with the healing aspect.
Okay.
I offer a 4-day event for that. So this 4-day event, I do it a few times in a year because I want people to start to get to learn about themselves and to the depths of it. Life is simple. With a small tweaking sometimes can change a lot in somebody's life. It doesn't take much. It takes a little bit of sometimes tweak to see where, to find out first at least what is my strength in my life. I have strengths even if everybody tell me I'm stupid. I still have strengths. That's other people's opinion about me.
Mm.
But how much do they know about me? Many times, not much.
Mm.
Because they presume this is who I am.
Oh, okay.
It's all presumptions. We assume he's that type of person. We assume he'll love to be an engineer. Or I want him to be a doctor because his grandfather and his father are doctors. But he's not made to be a doctor. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be into artistic. Why you want to force him to be somebody else?
Oh.
And this is why we have in our life these days, we all classified people as ADD or ADHD. You know, why we classify them? Because we're not understanding them. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe they have anything wrong. We just need to listen to them.
Hmm. Now, how does your system of numerology work with relationships and business? Well, the relationship and business is almost in the same fashion, but in a different aspect. So when you do a chart for somebody for a relationship, now you're going to draw the first person, then the second person, then you're going to be comparing them together, how well they fit together, and what experiences they're supposed to learn and teach each other. And this is all documented through some calculation. I have also a 4-day event for that. Now, what happened into that relationship, you start bringing more and more knowledge about the other person. You start understanding the relationship is not always about being physical with somebody. Your relationship with your dad is a relationship. What do you know about it? And this is when you start understanding it, the depth of it. You start understanding why my dad acted this way, why my mom was this way or that way. And this is where we start understanding ourselves in a totally different aspect into things. So we start be able to identify with people. We start to be able to identify with situations, with many things by understanding first ourselves, and we understand the other person with us. Now, when I do the relationships for two people, if one of the two people are asking for that means it's not serious, that consultation, because it's only one person is listening to it. So, but when you have both people that they have some differences, that like to get rid of those differences and to live into more harmonious time together, they should both be on the call to see how they can fix it together. Because a relationship is about two people. Right.
And this is how it works. Now, if you take the same thing into the business, now, most of the time, And especially the spiritual people, and there's nothing wrong by naming nice, cute names. But we need to find out, are these names are vibrating well with us? Is the name that you chose concentrate a lot on your weakness in your own chart or concentrate on your strengths? Do you vibrate well with it, how you communicate yourself and how your business is supposed to communicate? Do you have harmony there? If you don't have that harmony, many times what ends up happening is that you're having a hard time to sell your product or service because you're not communicating it well. Mm-hmm. Because the vibration of your business could be completely the weakness that you have on a personal life. So you're not able to see it, understand it. You're trying to learn it, but why you want to test it into something completely concentrated on the way to follow your weakness? So it is very important to know what you're following. I'm going to give you an example with that. Mm-hmm. One time, I asked a friend of mine, she's a recruiter, I asked her to get me 5 interviews for a VP position, vice president position in sales and marketing. Mm-hmm. And she asked me, I thought you don't want to work. I said, I don't want to, I'm testing something. So she said, what's the hook? What's the catch in here? I said, I want you to give me the name of the person that's going to be doing the interview with me, how they spell exactly their name on their business card. She said, okay, that's easy. So she gave me the names. She got me 5 interviews. I went to the 5 interviews. I got 4 offers out of 5.
Wow.
The 5th one, I didn't get it because she had an old business card for that person. In her new business card, she added 1 letter as a middle name, her maiden name. She took the first letter from it, and she put it. She didn't have that business card. I was speaking to her in the wrong way. Oh. So the other 4, I was speaking their language. So if I know that person, he loves to joke, why I want to be stiff with him? Right. Why I want to give him numbers? He likes to joke in between. So joke with him. Have fun. If that person I'm speaking with, he loves numbers, he likes to see charts, he wants to see everything in details, then give him details. Satisfy his needs or her needs. So it is very important when you want to do business with other people, you need to understand them instead of understanding yourself. Also, so that's what will happen when you start understanding the relationship, if it was for personal or business, and you can increase your clients, you can increase many different aspects in life, but you enrich yourself to start to understand yourself even better. Because anytime we understand other people, we are understanding ourselves.
Wow.
Because we are a reflection at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Now, Joseph, we only have maybe about 20 minutes left in the call today. You mentioned earlier an exercise that you could do. What do you think would be best to share with our listeners today?
I'm going to take them to a small meditation, and that meditation is basically about the inner child. I use it in my work of healing. I use this type of meditation. We do many different things into it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask everybody just to relax, put everything from your hand, and close your eyes, take 2 deep breaths. Imagine in front of you a silver plate. Start emptying everything on that silver plate that you don't need. Everything that happened during the week, the day, the months, whatever it is, empty them into that silver plate and give your time to yourself for 5 minutes. And watch that silver plate go higher and higher in the vastness of the universe until you don't see it. Imagine yourself walking through a garden, feeling relaxed, feeling the heat on your skin from the sun, smelling the flowers, watching some maybe animals playing in that garden, whatever you feel you like to have. I want you to walk towards the end of the garden, whichever end is your way. On your left side or right side, there's the stairs going upward. walk up that stair. At the end of the stairs, there is a door with a key in it. Unlock that door. Take the key out. Keep it with you. Open the door. Close it behind you. Lock the door. And keep the key with you. And you are already into your own private island. Into this island, you have lots of safety, comfort, and be joyful here. It is your island. I'm going to leave you for a minute to fill up whatever you like to fill up into your island, whatever that is for you. Fill up anything you like. Don't be cheap on yourself. There's abundance in the universe. And I'll be with you within a minute. I want you to invoke and invite the child that you were between age 6 to 9. Welcome that child into your own surrounding. Give the child a hug and a kiss. I want you to take a look at the eyes of the child in front of you. How do you feel that child is? Is that child happy? Is that child angry? Is that child frustrated? What type of child do you have in front of you? Embrace whatever child you have in front of you. Don't resist. I want you to ask the child 3 questions. You might get the answers today, or you might get it in the week following that questions. But don't expect it to come the way you want it to come. It can come from any different ways. The first question to ask the child, where am I stuck in my life? What do I need to do? I need help. The second question to ask is, what you, the grown-up, can do for the child? Where the child is stuck already? How can you assist the child yourself? The child will let you know what's needed. The third question I want you to ask the child is, what things at a young age he or she was dreaming of to be when he or she wants to grow up? What dreams, what visions, what fantasies that child used to dream, hope, envision? I'm going to leave you for a few minutes with the child. Get to know that child. That's your inner self. Be familiar with him or her today. I'll be right back in a few minutes. I'd like you to thank the child for being there. Give the child a hug and a kiss again. It's time to leave the island. Unlock the door. Open the door. Close it behind you. Lock it. But this time, keep the key with you. Anytime you feel coming back to that island, that space is yours. Nobody can harm you there. Come down the stairs. Walk again through the garden. This time, pick up a flower or two. And when you're ready, just move your hand and feet, open your eyes, and take 2 or 3 deep breaths, feeling you are alive.
Wow. Wow.
If we do that meditation 5 minutes every day, I guarantee you your life will change drastically. Get to know your inner self. We hardly take opportunity of doing that. We're too busy in our day-to-day life for nothing. But those small things that can change our life.
Wow.
We need to go inward and stop being into the artificial things of life.
That's really powerful.
Life is simple. Life is simple. We complicate it for nothing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to feel that we matter into this lifetime. We're not just a number. We're not just in a place that we wake up in the morning, we hate going where we're going, and we come back and we do the same thing over and over. We keep doing the same pattern. We need to ignite something in us. And you cannot ignite it on your own. You need to have somebody to mentor you to go through the process. That will be much easier, much faster that way. Because everybody has something to do. We're not here just on a picnic. We're coming to do something important. And now is the time.
That really makes me curious about what's possible for the people who are listening here today. I mean, with the information you've got, it's just been really, really mind-blowing. Do you think you could maybe take a few minutes and share some of the amazing turnarounds that you've seen from people who've applied what you teach?
Yes. The first step is basically to go, when I take my clients, I take them to the first step of everything I do, is to get into a numerology chart, to get to know themselves. That's the basic that we can get into that. I can give you an example. I had one friend and client and mentor and all together, because we got to know each other during the year we start working together. And her name was Fia Crandall, and it's okay to say her name, so it's not a problem. And when I asked her what's your original name, her original name is Fia Lynn. And her destiny is a 7. And the moment I told her, look, why are you self-sabotaging yourself? And she kept repeating, what do you mean? I said, you go 1 step forward, you go backward 3-4 steps. You keep doing that over and over. She said, yes, I do that all the time. That's the story of my life. I said, then bring your Lynn back into the equation, because what happened into herself, the only place that she has 7 into her vibration is in the name Lynn. And anything we don't use, we lose. So if you're putting clothes into the closet that have been 20 years, what's the point of those clothes anymore? You know.
Right.
So I said, bring your own soul power. This is your soul power. Bring it into the table, and start to find out what exactly you want. And the moment she brought that, she sent an email to her mailing list to her clients. Said, I want you to call me Fia Lynn from now on. To her family, she put it on Facebook. She changed her email even to Fia Lynn. Everything she changed, And from 4 months after our conversation, she sent me a testimonial about it. She said, in those 4 months, I was able to make more money what I made a year before, because she connected with her soul power. It's like before she was self-sabotaging herself for nothing, and now she has that connection back. And this is very, very important. I got different clients. They come for the different situations. I have Pamela from Vermont. She was completely lost, struggling to find her purpose in life. And she's searching everything from the outside of herself for answers to questions that she could ever find the answers. And she was suggested to come to me, and she came to me at that point, and I give her the reading. The reading can go an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. It depends on how complex your chart is. But she couldn't believe what I was telling her, just simply by giving me 2-3 inputs. And because of those, she completely saw where her purpose is. She started immediately seeing where she needs to be going, and everything started to make sense to her. The point with the chart is basically to be aware. That's all it is. The chart is not going to change your life. It's the awareness going to change your life. That's all it is. So, and that's the word aware is a big, big word here. And this is where it can assist and it can help into those cases, because it can make somebody completely change. Many times clients tell me, I wish my husband knows me the way you know me. And that was a typical, eventually, request. I had people with a marriage problem, and the moment we look into their names and how they can integrate them together, we discovered that one of the partners, after the marriage, changed their name. By bringing that back into aspect, then you put it back, the link again, into harmony. So sometimes it doesn't take so much. It takes only one change, but that change can be a huge input and impact into your life.
Wow.
As simple as that.
Wow. Well, there's obviously so much more that we have to learn from you, Joseph. Now, I asked you to create a special offer for us, for everybody listening to the call today. I highly encourage you to go to Joseph's special offer page right now, and you can experience it for yourself. And, we can have Joseph kind of walk everybody through and let them know what they'll find there.
Okay.
Is that okay with you, Joseph?
So I'm creating something unique for your listeners today. And it is going to be 1 hour or an hour and a half, depends on the complexity of the chart, of 1 hour in numerology with me over the phone. I don't do my charts and I give you a report. I don't do that because there's no personal touch with it. When I'm connected with you, because I do my numerology intuitively, so I use my intuition a lot also with it. So it's not only I'm reading your numbers, I'm only seeing what it meant for you to be guiding you into a specific way to see where you're stuck exactly. If I give you a chart completely computerized, I won't have those feelings. It will be generic to everybody, the same thing. But because I'm going to be one-on-one, and it's going to be recorded because there are going to be lots and lots of information through that chart. Normally, I'm trying to start to cut down on those charts because they're taking a lot of my space and my time, but I still enjoy them because I've been doing them for 20 years. I love doing them. It's like addiction to me at times, so I always can bring it. So I'm going to do that offer for you. For if somebody wants to take that chart, normally the chart is $397. For your listeners, they can get it for $97 at the moment.
Wow.
And what they're going to learn from that, they're going to understand about themselves. They're going to understand about their purpose, where they're going. If they were stuck in the past, where they got stuck, and from between what age to what age things happened in their life, and at the same time to get the way they express themselves. If somebody having a hard time to express themselves too much and they're trying to find somebody in their life, but they express in a 7, then we might have to do some changes for them in order to start attracting that person into their life, because people with 7, if they communicated with 7, they don't want to be into a relationship. So other people might get a wrong signal. So they're going to be guided into what changes can be applied for them, and if they're stuck, how they can solve their stuckness, how they can do it, and I can take them through that process and to see exactly what happened into their life, why things happen the way they happen, and take them through that process. So it is a very powerful chart eventually. So it is something not to miss, because it's not something I will be doing it forever. As I said, it takes a lot of my time.
Wow, that sounds like it would be a really enlightening experience for people to have that kind of insight into their lives on a level that you just aren't aware of normally. That sounds really impressive.
And you are unaware, but you already have those things that you're supposed to be aware of them. You have your name. So what you're doing with it, what your name meant to you, and you have your date of birth. What does it mean for me? What does it mean for you? We're all unique. We're all different, and that's what makes us unique. And this is where we need to start to tap into that and stop living into the victimized mood or creating hurdles for ourselves, excuses to ourselves for nothing. And we have the right to gain that knowledge.
Okay. Now, let me make sure I've got this straight. You're not just offering a digital download product. You're actually conducting private sessions with people. Am I right on that? Creating personal charts?
Yes. It's a completely one-on-one with me. It's not downloadable.
That is amazing. That is so amazing.
It's not downloadable. I'm telling you, it's not downloadable.
Yeah, no, that isn't. Except to download the information. It sounds like you get a lot of information out of this.
Because they're gonna get the recording after.
Right.
Right. And people, they listen to the recording a few years later. They said, "Oh my God, what you said at that time, I didn't hear it." Because we can take as much information. And remember, I'm going to condense your life in an hour, hour and a half. If somebody wants to go deeper, they can come to me before the event. They're going to learn more details. But we need to start with this. This is the foundation of everything. To set the course where we want to go on our purpose and how we're going to be achieving that. And if we're stuck in between, how we can fix it, how we can arrange it, how we can modify it. You're not cheating the system. You're already putting back maybe something, one name that you're not using at all, bringing it back, and that can change your life. Because numbers are energy, and energy can move fast, and your life can change instantly. If you put your commitment into it and you want to completely make it changeable, and it's yours. So it is powerful. It is one-on-one session with me, directly over the phone. The way we do it, we set up the appointment within 24 hours, or maximum 48 hours, but probably in the 24 hours, we set up the appointment that suits both of us. The moment you sign up for the chart, you're going to get an email with the questions, about 13 questions that I'd like to be answered. Just your name, your date of birth, your original name at birth, and the rest are logistic, like phone numbers and time zone and stuff like that, and when's the best time to call. So the other one are very simple. But the most important for me are the first three questions. That's all it is. And this is where I'm going to draw the chart manually. So I'm doing it manually, the chart. It's not done electronically even. So it has a lot of value with it. And normally when I do the chart, I do it 1 hour before I make the call. And the reason for that, because I'm still in the energy of it. Because once I'm into the energy of it, because as I said, I'm doing it intuitively also, so I'm connecting with that blueprint. Because I don't believe anybody will sign up with me unless we have some type of an agreement. We all sign up with the people that we have agreement with, and always it works that way. Because there's no coincidence in life. Everything happened for the right reason for it. But regardless if I have an agreement with that person or not, everybody should have that chart. Because you need to have the basic of who you are. That's all. Get to know yourself. That's all it is. If somebody asks you, who are you, to be able to answer properly, not what I do. And many times I ask, so who you are, and they keep telling me about what they did in the past. I said, but I didn't ask that. Who are you as a person? That's all. As an individual, as your own identity, and many people, they have a problem to identify that, and because they can relate only to their job, but your job is not your life. And that's where we need to start getting to know into the essence of who we are and start building ourselves into a stronger, better person and start thriving and shine into what we're meant to be doing in the first place. You signed an agreement with your soul to fulfill the purpose of that soul. Your job is to fulfill now your destiny.
I want to give that link again one more time real quick. It's awakentoyourgreatestlife.com/purpose, spelled PURPOSE. Again, that's www.awakentoyourgreatestlife.com/purpose, PURPOSE. Now, Joseph, what do you think some of the biggest benefits that people can expect to get right away, and then over time a little as well by taking advantage of this numerology special?
Right away, if somebody really are stuck in their life, they will see it immediately. That's, of course, immediately they're going to see it because they're going to know what their patterns. I will probably emphasize on it a few times without me even paying attention. I'm emphasizing on it because that's what the pattern. This is what I'm sensing. This is what I'm seeing them stuck, and you cannot tell somebody you're going to become the Queen of England, and they are sitting in a hole. You need to get them up first, let them see. Then, I might be get there. Yeah, I can see it now, but before I wasn't able to see it. So in the beginning, they're going to get into where am I stuck at in my life, and how can I change that in my life? And that's where they're going to get it instantly. And usually I had this statement with that before, just spend with me 90 minutes and you'll discover the single block or pattern that has been running in your life. And at the same time, you'll learn how to fix it and be free from that problem.
Wow.
So they will get that. But there will be things for more future for them, because once they handle whatever they're stuck at or whatever they loosen up where they're at, then they're going to start seeing the other stuff later on that can come into very handy for them to understand where they're going. But in the beginning, they need to find out, am I blocked somewhere? Am I procrastinating somewhere? Am I stuck somewhere? Do I have patterns? And this is where I need to have it identified. And it makes a huge difference the moment you have it identified.
Wow. Well, I highly encourage everybody, go to Joseph's special offer right now. You can experience it for yourself. It sounds really powerful. That link, www.awakentoyourgreatestlife.com/purpose, spelled PURPOSE. Wow, Joseph, you've been amazing. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with everybody before we go?
Well, life is simple. If you decide, and you need to make that decision, it's very important. You're going to declare it to the universe, I decided I want to make that change in my life, then it will be granted. But make that decision, because the universe works with your free will. If you're sitting and insisting on doing nothing, then nothing will change in your life. And you keep complaining about the same thing. So get up and say, it's time to make the change, to take the leap of faith, take a chance on yourself for a change, to go and improve your life to the better and start living your greatness and awaken the giant in you that's been sleeping for too long. And connect with your inner self and get yourself more attuned with that energy within yourself, because your inner child has all your answers also.
Thank you so much for sharing with us today, Joseph. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I look forward to our next call together. And I want to thank everyone listening to Awaken to Your Greatest Life. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.